Hello friends, this video is the start of a special series where I will be discussing the success stories of CSIT professionals and learning from the journey they have taken. So let's start. Having a good resume or CV is one of the most important parts of the recruitment process. This is because without a strong CV, the firm may not even shortlist you for the position. So, how should the ideal CV look like? Well, instead of giving you a long preparation guide, I thought it's better if I can demonstrate something practically. Hence, in today's video, we will be looking at CV of my friend Hitarth. I am thankful to Hitarth for providing this particular version of his CV based on which he was selected at Google. As you can see, currently, Hitarth is working as a software engineer at Google since July 2021. So, without wasting time, let's start. The very first thing which you can notice about this CV is its simple but elegant design. As you can see, the text, font, as well as size is used very consistently. You can also see the contact information is mentioned in the beginning of the CV itself, right, including phone number as well as email ID. And along with this, GitHub information is also provided. And as you can notice, there is no objective statement or there are no references here, right? So they are not required, right? At least for Google. And if you are applying for an internship, then one page resume is fine. But in the case of technical roles, your resume can have more than one pages, right? So in this particular case, this resume has 2 pages, and as you can see, there are no typos, as well as everything is nicely put, right? No long paragraphs. Start the in-depth analysis of this CV now. So the very first thing which we can notice with respect to education is, in terms of your degrees, you need to write down whatever you have accomplished after your 12th, right? So he has mentioned about bachelor degree, then master's degree, right? So this order must be followed. So your most recently obtained degree must be mentioned first, along with name of the university. So in his case, University of Southern California, and for BTech it's DIICT. And you can also notice his CGPA, right? It's a 4 out of 4, and in the case of MS, and in bachelor's he has obtained 9.28 out of 10. So CGPA is just one criteria. It's not like that based on CGPA only you will be called, right? Fine. So now what I liked about his CV is he has mentioned about some courses here, right? As you can see, deep learning, operating system, analysis of algorithms, foundation of AI, advanced operating system, database systems, and maybe he has learned more than these courses, right? But he has mentioned only 6 years. And he has not just mentioned these courses in this section, but later on, as you can see in his projects, he has demonstrated that he possesses in-depth knowledge of this subjects. So we can quickly relate this. As you can see, the very first course is deep learning, and in his projects you can see the very first project is associated with RNN model, right? And there he has used concepts of grade chem as well as loss. So this is nothing but it's a practical application of deep learning. As you can see, his next 2 projects are again associated with operating system as well as advanced operating system. And then again the next project is associated with AI, right? And afterwards again he has designed computational option pricing framework, right, where again knowledge of algorithms is important, right? So right. And later on he has also demonstrated the one of the application of database management. So in that sense, I find this is very complete, right? Whatever he has written, he has later on justified it, so which is good. Now let's move on to the next section, which is nothing but skills, programming languages, right? So this is very much important section, right? Whatever language you are writing down, right, the interviewer may ask you questions from those set of languages, right? So ideally you should know at least one programming language, and in his case, right, he is remarkably brilliant, so he knows this 5 languages and he has written all of them. And again, with respect to programming language, I would like to highlight 3 things here. Along with this, as I have mentioned earlier, he has also mentioned his GitHub link, and later on in his projects, as you can see, along with each project title, he has mentioned which language he has used for that particular project, right? And this is consistent throughout the CV, right? So as you can see, right, you can see repeatedly C, Python, these languages are appearing, right? So except for the database of, right, where again he has used concepts of C++. Okay, so so again, this is kind of complete, because whatever languages he has mentioned, he has developed projects on those languages. And then again, frameworks and libraries, where he has mentioned some of the frameworks of Python, and then parallel programming. Then next important aspect of skills is nothing but technical knowledge, where he has mentioned about object-oriented design, parallel programming, distributed systems, data mining, machine learning, deep learning, and reinforcement learning. So just like his courses, he has also justified his technical skills in his next section, which is nothing but work experience. So you will be able to see, if you just focus on this blue highlighted words, then you will be able to map them easily with this red technical skills, right? So ML pipeline, again, is related to machine learning. C++, object oriented design. CUDA, again, parallel programming. Other things are also mentioned, like for example, he has also good knowledge of website development, right? Okay, so let me just go through this work experience. So the most recent one you should write first. So he was also working as a software engineering intern at Google itself. So there he had, and also I would like to highlight this point very much. Here, what you should do, you should use keywords like designed, created, developed, or implemented, analyzed, right? So you can read your job description, right? You can see repeatedly these words are appearing: designed, designed, prototyped, delivered, right, and proposed, right? So you can read about the job description, and depending upon your job description, you are encouraged to use this type of words, right? So that the reader can relate and understand what you are actually trying to convey in terms of your experience. So the very first point is designed and implemented end-to-end ML pipeline using C++ and TensorFlow for predicting various properties of places on Google Maps. Second experience is associated with Sport Club at his university, USC, where he had worked on this CUDA, right? And he has also mentioned the outcome of his proposed approach, right? So this resulted in 200 times faster code, right? And also he had designed approximation algorithms, right? And the final outcome is 500 times better than the previous one. And then his experience at DirectEye, there again you can see these words: designed, prototyped, and delivered feedback learning system for determining best ad layout for different websites using again these frameworks, right? Resulting in a consistent 20% gain in click-through rate, and then other aspects of this. And then his experience at Morgan Stanley, where basically he had implemented an interface. So again, here what I would like to highlight is you should follow this template. what you have accomplished. Let's say you have accomplished X, and X must be measurable. So X as measured by, let's say, Y is again one more criteria. And in order to achieve this, which technologies you have used, which is nothing but Z. So you will be able to see these three things in his in his work experience as well as in projects consistently. What he is doing, right? How the performance is measured, right? What is accomplished, right? So the first thing is what is accomplished, how he is what is the impact of it, right? So measurable quantities which are nothing but Y, and technologies, right? So this is nothing but what is proposed or what is done. This is nothing but what, and this is nothing but how you are going to measure, right? How you are going to measure the impact of your work. And Z is nothing but corresponding technologies which you are using, right? Whatever you want to say about it, like maybe language or frameworks and so on. So as you can see, let me highlight this one more time. As you can see here, he has mentioned specifically designed, implemented an end-to-end ML pipeline, right? So the contribution is this, right? This is nothing but our what he has done, right? And this is nothing but how he has done, right? And in some cases it's not possible to measurable, it's not possible to write down measurable outcomes, but wherever possible he has mentioned about it. For example, here as you can see what he has done, he has proposed this circuit minimization algorithm. This is nothing but what, how he has done using CUDA, right? Fine. And what is the impact is this 200x faster code. So this is nothing but the measurable aspect, right? So you will be able to see this again and again throughout his resume, and it's a very good practice to follow this, right? So again, what he has done in here, feedback learning system he has proposed, right? Not only proposed, it's mainly designed, prototyped and delivered, right? So all the aspects he has done with respect to this what part. Next, how he has done. So right, so this is nothing but how, right? This technologies he has used, right? This is nothing but how part, right? And what is the outcome? Measurable outcome is 20% gain in the click-through rate, right? And this is quite good, right? So not only in his work experience, but also he has done the same thing with respect to his projects also, right? Whenever possible, he has talked about what is the deliverable. And for example, as you can see here, right, 90% reduction. So this is nothing but our measurable content, which is nothing but Y, right? And always try to reflect this, right? What you are doing, if possible, write down some measures. What is the improvement after your work in the underlying product, and which frameworks or which technologies you use to develop it, right? So now quickly let's quickly look at his projects, right? So the first one is virtual visual assistant using Python, and especially he has used PyTorch here. The second one is Unix, right? Operating system, Unix based operating system. Third one is multi-threaded token bucket filter emulator implemented in C. Fourth one is AI powered Go player, Python. And also some of his projects are also converted into research papers and published, right? He has not mentioned about them here, but it's there, I know. Computational option pricing, again Python, NumPy. Parallel implementation of expectation maximization algorithm, right? So as you can see, again, this is kind of a combination of algorithms as well as knowledge of parallel programming, right? C as well as CUDA is there. And then finally live database migration. From this, it's very much clear how should your CV look like, right? It must start with contact information, then education background, then skills, then you can talk about your work experience, and then finally projects, right? So projects are very much important part of your CV, where you can actually demonstrate your understanding of the courses as well as skills, right? And this is often neglected, right? You usually write down many things in your CV, but in the interview as well as in CV, you won't be able to justify it. So the upshot is, keep it simple, but at the same time, whatever you are writing, you should be able to justify it, not just in the interviews but also in the CV. Thank you for watching this video, and you can, if you have any queries regarding CV preparation, then you can ask those queries in the comment section. I will request Hitarth to answer those queries. You can also suggest topics on which you would like to hear more from me in future. Thank you. Subscribe to my channel for more videos.